Hi, I'm Scott Sebring.
And I'm Bentley, and we are both huge fans of the 1966 Batman TV show. And one of the things that we are really into is figuring out and checking out some of the filming locations that they used for the show.
Just like the one that we're actually standing at right now, which is Bronson Cave, otherwise known as the Bat Cave.
Hey, Bat fans, it looks like we're going to be making a road trip to Bronson Cave, otherwise known as the Bat Cave, on Bat Tours.
And if you've not checked out Scott's video from way back in 2008, then you should totally do that. So today we are going to...
In the opening shots of the show, very often, when Batman and Robin were on their 14-mile trip to Gotham, you usually see the same footage of the Batmobile on those open roads. It's usually going by a scrawny tree around a corner with the, special guest villain Cesar Romero pasted across the screen. And they use those shots over and over and over again. To our knowledge, to people that we knew, we have no idea where those were.
Absolutely. If you believed what you read on the internet, there's some vague kind of talk of Mulholland Drive, but anybody who's been up there, or simply looked at Google Maps for that matter, would be able to very quickly tell you that's not where it happened. It's simply not white.
And that wasn't good enough for us just because we have a disease, we have a problem, we have a fascination, obsession. I'm sorry. If you want to find the right roads, what do you got to do?
Well, we spent the last few months using the great 3D terrain modeling on Google Maps alongside the amazing quality Blu-ray captures that we now have from the official release of the show. And we, I think, are probably about 80 or 90% sure that we have managed to track down some sections of road up here in the Hollywood Hills that we use for those sequences. So today is really just about sharing this experiment.
Yeah, it really is. I mean, it's just, honestly, we just want to see these roads. We want to see the gold. But I think it's enough time of talking. Let's start getting walking, man, because it's going to be a hike.
Let's do it. Throughout Batman's 3-season run, fans became incredibly familiar with the driving sequences that would be reused in almost every episode. Although it became stock footage for the series, the first time we actually see the Batmobile take that famous bend is in Season 1, Episode 2, smack in the middle, during the car chase with the Riddler.
Okay, so we made the trip up here. It's just about like a little over a mile from the starting point of the trail. And it was, what is this trail anyway?
So we're on Mount Hollywood Drive, which, like Scott said, is about 1.5 miles from Griffith Park Observatory. So there is parking that we use down by the observatory, and then we joined what they call the 3-mile hike trail, which takes us up the beginning of Mount Hollywood Drive. And eventually we hit this very bend, this corner that we're at right now.
So that's the corner, and it's going to zoom right by us. Here we go. So as it comes by, it should come back through and back down that way. And right about here should be a sign for Orland's Cove. Those people off in the distance weren't in the series. Anyway, so we're going to try to film this thing and see if we can kind of try to match the shot with what we got. So
let's see how this
goes. Yeah. All things considered, not a lot has changed up here on Mount Hollywood Drive in the 50-some years that have passed. The famous corner tree has obviously grown, and the edge of the curb has been defined. But as we approached the section of road on our walk up the hill, it was clear that our aerial research for the road curves, terrain, and structures on Google Maps was correct. This is the spot. It just looks right as you come from around the corner and see that famous bend right in front of you.
And like all good fanboys, we of course brought our toys.
So, let me ask you a question. I'm getting wear and tear on my toys here, but I guess we could say that the wear and tear I have is screen-accurate tire wear from the actual pavement that the Batmobile traveled on. I'll take it. As we explore the area surrounding the famous Bat Bend further, it becomes apparent that the entire Riddler chase sequence was filmed very economically on this same stretch of road, totaling probably less than a mile or so.
If we continue down Mount Hollywood Drive from the Bat Bend, we soon arrive at another dog-leg bend that the Riddler and Molly take during the chase. As we continue our hike down this same stretch of road, we eventually arrive at a straightaway that gets used in a number of different ways for a couple of different shots in this episode. Infamous amongst Batmobile aficionados, the only known footage of the primer-painted Batmobile was filmed right here on the straightaway. This particular sequence dates back to some of the earliest test footage that was actually produced before Barris had completed the car for use in the series. Similarly, if we were to cross the road from the previous camera position and now frame our shot facing where we were previously standing, we now have the angle that the Riddler's car appears from in one of the cutaways during the chase. We were able to identify the viewpoint down onto another road below Mount Hollywood Drive that was used for the matte shot through the Riddler's binoculars. This same aerial shot of the Batmobile on a winding road would then feature a handful of times without the matte as the series progressed.
Turn on the homing transmitter.
Done.
As we familiarize ourselves with the terrain on Mount Hollywood Drive, it becomes apparent that even the rear projection footage was filmed up here, which ties it in really nicely with the live-action driving sequences.
Hold on, old fellow. I'm getting you.
The car crash and fire, although they look like they were filmed in the same area, were actually filmed in Century City, just behind the 20th Century Fox lot. Check out Scott's video where he talks through some really amazing behind-the-scenes footage. If you're thinking about hiking the Bat Roads in person, then by all means click the link in the description below for a free PDF map, just like the one that we've been using on screen. And on a practical note, it's worth mentioning that although the trail is paved, it does have a gentle uphill gradient to it, so be sure to allow yourself plenty of time to walk at your own pace. There are also some great photo opportunities for both the Hollywood sign and Griffith Observatory that you can take advantage of along the way.
Well, that was fun.
That was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed that. And we hope that you did too. And on that basis, we'd absolutely love it if you wanted to come and join in the conversation over at 66batman.com.
Okay, so that was over 50 years of a fantasy fulfilled?